Hi, my name's Kate. I'm an Episcopal priest, and this is a short reflection on Ash Wednesday. So remember early days of the pandemic, March 2020, the lentiest Lent ever Lent that we are still very much in a lot of ways. Many of us who are able were hunkered down in our homes, just slowly but surely developing cabin fever. My sister Corey left New York City to stay with my parents at the family cabin in Pennsylvania. And I think it was really good for them at that time to support each other, to be together. And they also started to drive each other just a little bit nuts. So my mom and my sister would call me on a regular basis to report, "Your father keeps singing the same song over and over again." During those months of lockdown, my dad could not stop singing a hit song from 1998 as though it were last call at the neighborhood watering hole. And he would wander around the house and he would sing "Closing Time. Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end." Now you may be thinking, Pastor Kate, that is a weirdly specific story about your family, and what on earth does it have to do with Ash Wednesday? But I think the gospel, according to Semisonic, certainly preaches today on Ash Wednesday. The lyric, "Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end," is the same truth we remember with these ashes. Because the ashes that we make into the sign of the cross on our foreheads today had their beginnings at the end of last year's Lent. These ashes are made of the palms that we waved last Palm Sunday during Jesus' triumphal entry into Jerusalem at the start of last year's Holy Week. Palm Sunday is a day that holds both the loudest, most joyful hosannas and "Blessed is the one who comes in the name of the Lord," but it also holds the reading of the Passion, the story of the arrest, trial, and crucifixion of Jesus. On Palm Sunday, we fold those palms into the shape of the cross, and we took them home with us. And they saw us through 50 days of Easter, Ordinary Time, Advent, Christmas, and Epiphany, until this last Sunday. It was time for them to be burnt into the ashes for this Lent, and to be made in the shape of the cross on our foreheads, to have their end precisely as we have a new beginning. Because these ashes remind us, as we begin a new journey through this year's Lenten season, as we stare down 40 days and 40 nights in the wilderness, that we have been here before. We have been through hard times in our lives, and it did not defeat us. We, all of us, have walked through the valley of the shadow of death with Jesus at one time or another. And those Lents, whether as the liturgical season or in those Lenten seasons of life, when our mortality, which is so fragile, feels just all too close and all too scary. But we know that it will not defeat us, that we will make it through, that love is stronger than death. We might not exactly jump for joy at the prospect of entering another Lent, but we know that on the other side of Lent is Easter and resurrection, because we've already seen it. The cross on our foreheads of the burnt remains of last year's palms is our roadmap to a holy and life-giving Lent. We walk the way of the cross and know that against all odds, it is the way of eternal life. In the immortal words of Semisonic, every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. As you are reminded today of all of the Lents of life that have gone before, and the promise of every Easter at the end of them, may you step out with courage and compassion and curiosity wherever Jesus will lead you on your Lenten journey this year. After all, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. I wish you a holy and life-giving Lent.